Marwa said, "No more visitors at the villa." What is Marwa really saying? Is it a message to Jamaican uncle and chocolate man? Because of recent, we have seen that those guys are the one who wants to come to the villa. So in today's analysis, that is what we are going to do, and just an investigative analysis.
I don't want visitors in my home, I'm sorry. Reason being, I'm so busy. You see, I'm running up and down, and also I'm pumping my money to other projects. So, also visitors, it's expensive to have visitors a little bit, because you have to even increase your budgeting in terms of food, better food, things like that, until end of April. Let's say May 1st. So let me close this gate. Let me close this gate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another session of the day. Welcome back to this amazing YouTube channel that goes by the name Maxwell Lumumba Africa. Maxwell Lumumba is my name, a village content creator, born and raised in a village setup with no jobs, no money, but at the end of the day, we have to survive. So for those who have not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, and share this video to other individuals. Remember to turn on the notification bell so that any day, anytime I post any video, you guys get updated and watch these videos till the end without skipping any ads. Also, I have another YouTube channel that goes by the name Vibe with Lumumba. Lumumba is Lumumba, where basically I do logs on lifestyle, village logs. Like today, I'll be harvesting some corn. So some of the videos about lifestyle, how we survive here in the village, you can find them in that specific YouTube channel. That being that, let me start by thanking all the supporters who have been supporting me, all the subscribers who have been watching my videos from the beginning to the end. I don't take you people for granted. Let me just give you much respect. Having said that, today's video, let me say this slowly. Let me say this clearly. Marwa has declared no more visitors at the villa. On the surface, that sounds like a simple statement. But when you listen carefully, when you analyze those words, when you look at the timing, this statement is very, very interesting. And I want to break it down word by word, because sometimes what people say publicly is not what they actually mean. So, no more visitors, a simple statement or a slap. Marwa says, no more visitors at the villa. This is not just an announcement. This is a message, a clear message. And to many people, especially his minions and cult members, this is a slap on the face. Why? Because these are the same people who have been dreaming for years to come and see Marwa. They save money, they plan trips, they buy gifts. People like Jamaican uncle, when they come, they don't come empty-handed. They give Marwa money, they give him gifts, they buy suppliers, and they spend. So, when Marwa comes online and says, visitors take a lot, I don't have money to feed people, you must ask yourself, who exactly is he talking to? Let me start by saying, I don't have money. Really? Let us pause here. Why does this guy say that he doesn't have money to feed people and guests, and stuff like that. This guy makes so much money. Let me just say that. YouTube revenue, donations, super chats, gifts, brand visibility, land appreciation. So when a person like that says that I don't have money, it is not about money. It is about control. It is about narrative. It is about preparing the audience to accept decisions that benefits one person only. Let me say this. Subscribers taken for granted. And let me say this painfully, because Marwa takes subscriber for granted like brainless zombies. And I'm not insulting subscribers for nothing. I'm describing a psychological pattern, because if I were a Marwa's fanatic and I saw this guy on video saying that guests take a lot, I don't want any visitors anymore. I will feel bad. I will feel used. I will feel dismissed after all the support, because we know even how the villa was built. It was through the support. After all the hype, after all the defending, we have seen a lot of people coming to the comment section, to our platform, commenting a lot of shit, so as actually to defend Marwa. And yet some people will still clap. Some will still say that he's protecting his peace. No, this is not peace. This is distance. Let me talk about the Jamaican uncle's questions. Now let me talk about the elephant in the room. What about Jamaican uncle? I saw Jamaican's uncle's video. He was buying stuffs. He was preparing. He said it clearly that he is starting to travel to Africa again. So that means he's coming to Africa. He has already talked about coming to see Marwa, because every time that he comes to Africa, he has to come to Kenya, he has to go to the villa. So now Marwa suddenly says that no more visitors. Is this a coincidence, or is this a message? Is Marwa quietly telling Jamaican uncle, don't come? Is this about the land? Because we already seen that Marwa himself said that the land is going to put some horses so that they be grazing that piece of land as he prepares maybe to plant some hay in these, or some grasses in these other piece of land that he recently purchased. So let us say this. Is this about promises made earlier that are now inconvenient? Because Jamaican uncle had planned to come to Kenya very soon. He said that in his video. So when Marwa speaks publicly like this, he is not just talking to random viewers. He's actually talking to specific people without mentioning names. Let me say this something about indirect communication and the power of dynamics. This is how power speaks. Not directly, not honestly, but indirectly. Instead of calling someone and saying, please don't come to my combat. And I'm not referring to the Jamaican uncle. I'm not saying directly that I'm speaking now to Jamaican uncle, but instead of calling someone and saying, please don't come, you go online and say, I don't want visitors. Visitors take too much. Now, the responsibility shifts. If someone still comes, they look like the problem. That is a strategic communication. Let me even talk about the culture and reality. In African culture, visitors are blessing, because when you see visitors, okay, up to now I've never received any visitor from abroad, but when we see visitor, any kind of visitor, local visitor, because even in Marwa, in his video, he said that we have some visitors, the local visitors that we have, maybe those who are traveling from all of other countries coming to Kenya. Yeah, he talked about that. So in African culture, visitors are blessing. Anytime we see visitors in Africa, we actually hosting is a honor. So when someone builds a brand using African hospitality, African struggles, African unity, then suddenly says that no more visitors. You must ask, was the culture real or was it content? This announcement is not small. It is not random. It is not innocent. It is a boundary, but also a signal, a warning, but also a withdrawal. And if you are a supporter, a donor, a defender, you have the right to ask questions, because loyalty should never mean silence. I'm not telling anyone what to think. I'm not forcing conclusion. I'm simply saying, listen careful to what is being said. And what is being said, because sometimes no more visitors mean much more than no visitors. Let me add even some things, yeah? Now here is where the confusion actually begins for many viewers. On one hand, we see monetized videos, we see a constant upload, we see donations, gifts, support, we see a lifestyle presented as growth and success. On the other hand, we hear, I don't have money to feed guests. This creates, we call it cognitive dissonance, because subscribers naturally ask, if you are struggling financially, why is that not communicated transparently? If you are doing well, why frame visitors as a burden? This is not about counting someone's money. It is about consistency of narrative. Audience forgive struggles. Audience struggle with mixed messaging. Let's slow down. Many supporters don't just visit. They travel long distances with planes, others with vehicles, buy gifts, bring suppliers, spend money. So when they hear guests take a lot, the unspoken message becomes, you are expensive, you are inconvenient, you cost me, even if that was not intention. That is how communication works. Intent does not cancel the impact. And this is where loyal supporters can start feeling used before, unwanted now, reduced to expense instead of community. That feeling does not come from hate. It comes from emotional investment being dismissed. Let me say this about timing. Timing is everything. Why now? This statement did not come during silence. It came during a period when people have openly discussed visiting again. Travel plans have been mentioned publicly, like Chocolate Man announced his intention to come to the villa, and expectations were already created. Is now Marwa feeling that because of the reactors, because some of the people like me, I was like my yesterday's live, I was talking about the safety of some children, the likes of Anastasia. If these guys come to the villa Are they safe in that surrounding? So naturally speaking, people ask, is this a boundary being set? Or is this message to specific individuals? Or is this an attempt to reset control over access and expectation? Again, these are questions, not conclusion, but intelligent audiences ask why now, not just what was said. Let me say this. When a creator builds a brand on community, openness, access, come see, come experience, come support, then suddenly shuts the gate publicly, that is not just a personal decision. That is a power shift. It says access is no longer mutual. I decide when community exists. Oh, sorry. There is a, you see, I had to put some spray here because I was, yeah, I was just attacked. Yeah, I just put some spray here. Yeah, I was attacked by a dog. Yeah, I was attacked by a dog yesterday. So I had to put spray, but the history about that dog, it has already been injected with a rabies vaccine, and it is up to date. So that's why I never even rushed myself to the hospital. But I just had to put some. I did some local disinfection. Then I put some spray that contains local anesthesia so that I don't feel pain. And still it has some antibiotics in it, so as the antibiotic will be penetrating into the muscle, and I'll be getting okay. That's why I'm not raising my hand, because you know, people know me of doing these, saying these, doing these, but today it seems that I have not put. So the situation of the hand is that way, but at least it is regressing. Yesterday it was you can see some teeth. Yeah, that dog was fighting with another dog. Yeah, not even fighting, it was being beaten by the other dog, so I had to rescue it. On that rescuing process, even me, I was just attacked. But that is how life is. So I was saying that feels like a slap to emotional investors, a dismissal of loyalty, a reminder that support is one directional. This is now parasocial relationship break, not through insult, but through withdrawal without explanation. Yeah, and that's how things are really working. Let me talk about the subscriber psychology. Why people feel insulted. Calling subscribers or telling subscribers that you're not welcome. This is not something that it is supposed to be taken for granted, talked down to, used for views, then push away. No, supporters like being made to feel like you are used when giving, but inconvenient when present. So that hurts more than insult. So let me end this way. This is not about food. This is not about guests. This is not about money. This is about communication, respect, and consistency. A leader of a community, online or offline, must understand words shape perception, boundaries need explanation, and supporters are human, not resources. If you want privacy, say so clearly. If you want boundaries, expect them respectfully. If you think about having changed, communicate that honestly, but because once people feel dismissed, they don't rebel loudly. They just live quietly, because you are now saying people that they give you a chance between now and April. And already in April, you already said about your intention going back to traveling. So that means that you are dismissing these people entirely, completely. You no longer need visitors in the villa, and that is the point that you're supposed to bring it clearly. Yeah? Having said this video is not telling you what to think. It is asking you to think for yourself. Watch the words, watch the timing, watch the tone, and ask yourself, if this message was meant for me, how would I feel?
So let me close this gate.